That's what's up. That's what's
Man,
up.
brother.
So
Yeah.
I'm gonna answer a question. So this question is probably more for you, Mr. Pro, for you, and then I got a question for the panel, starting with Dre. So Kings with Dreams had asked. He said most men have said Dominican women aren't the marrying type. I don't know about that. Do you find that to be true?
Well, well, of course, I don't find that to be true. But here's the interesting thing about that: most men are most men the marrying type. I mean, let's just start there. You know, you always gotta trace the source of where what you heard, where it came from. And when it's interesting that all of a sudden, the DR women are not the marriage type, but like I said, I haven't seen a dude who was looking for a wife that couldn't find one yet. You know what I mean? And most of the guys that say that, they're not looking for wives. They're not marriage type. They just have that to say because, um, you know, for some reason, this commercial thing, about passport bros and all that. The commercial statement is, we're going abroad to we're going abroad to find love and wives. Come on, man. Who all's looking for wives? Raise your hand. I mean, I see a screen. I don't see anybody on this panel looking for wives. Just the brothers that found wives. And even though I'm the only one in DR, but cool, leave it to me. And the funny thing is, brothers say, well, you got lucky, or it's not like that. But the way I feel is, everybody gets lucky to find the person they're looking for. Because how many times were you unlucky? How many times did you find the wrong person until you found the right person? So when dudes are saying this, I hear it, but what's the source? Bring them on, because one person can't come on and tell me that a whole country has no wife material. There's just one person that person that you thought was the right one was not. But the funny thing is, everyone's the wrong person until you find the right person.
You mind if I touch on that as well?
Let me shout out the super chat real quick, man. Appreciate the super chat, Victory Asher. He said, "Taj, your words are encouraging for me. It's extremely important for me to meet a Colombiana who shares similar religious values. Thanks for sharing. Appreciate it, bro."
Yeah, when Ty was talking, I was actually thinking about Victory. It's kind of funny that you would say that. So I mean that he would do a super chat, because I know Victory and I know his spiritual beliefs, and so and soon as Ty was talking, I was like, man, I'm glad Victory here to hear that. So to see the super chat come through that's a plus. But go ahead, ORD. My bad.
I don't know, Paul, man. No, I want to say is that I think that it's up to what brothers are looking for, and if they want to vibe with their particular culture, because there are a lot of good women down there in DR. It just comes down to, is that the type of culture you want to be in? Is that the type of person you really want to deal with? Because I've actually met a few really good women down there. I'm almost actually married one woman that was down there. Good woman, she like, to the point that every time I would come down there, she would always clip my nails, take everything out my luggage. She would like feed me grapes, everything you could think of, and so forth. So there are good women out there. I just think that a lot of the brothers that say that, when it comes down to DR, they're going to one location and one location only, one area. They're not really moving around. They're not really, taking their time out to, search for, the right locations, such as away from, the tourist areas, like, Sasuit, so many words, or are they actually taking the time out to learn the language, or at least, learn the culture of the women that's there? So all that really matters. You got to know what you're getting into. So I know tons of brothers that actually had gotten married to Dominican women. They actually stayed married for a long time, such as one actually here, Mervin, who's actually been commenting in the comment section. So, I think he's been married for like 9-10 years now. So it's possible. This is just, you know what I'm saying, for all those brothers that don't know or don't or haven't, you know, they always hear the negatives and so forth about that, you know, they met this one girl, they brought them to US, and then, you know, she got, you know, she left them and so forth. You know, there are several reasons for everything, you know, and I can't just put on a whole group of people. So there are some good women, just got to search and take your time. And when it comes down to that, come down to the DR.
And I wanted to say this also, you know, what is brothers' experience in choosing the right woman? You know what I mean? Because sometimes, you know, I'll say your chooser is broken. When's the last time you chose the right woman? You know, there is a plethora of women here, just like there's a plethora of women in Colombia. But are they all marriage material? No. But it's up to you.
I think
Go ahead, bro.
Oh, my bad. I mean, because real quick, shout out to brother SJ Clyde with the $10 super chat.
Hey, Clyde in the building.
He's gonna be next.
I know, right?
I'm trying to be like y'all. You almost you there, brother. You just a signature away.
We're trying to be like you, man. That guy be sending his girl flowers every other week, man. I'm like, slow down, man. You making me look bad.
He make long distance relationships look easy. He make long distance relationships look easy. Something I had spoken to you, Mr. Pro, for you about DR2 is what I noticed when I was dating Dominican women is that the ones that are you know, good girls and attractive, it's a longer process, in my opinion, for Dominican women. Like some men that I know that love DR, they say they love it because they love the thrill of the chase. You know what I mean? So a good Dominican woman is going to be a little bit more patient, even more patient than a Colombian woman to a certain extent. She's going to want you. A lot of Dominican chicks that I really wanted, they wasn't going to let you smash the first time you was in a DR. They're going to be like, next time. And so you like, my next time ain't for 2 or 3 months. I gotta wait. Next time, I gotta spend money to come see you just dry, and I gotta wait another 2 or 3 months to see you again. So some dudes just be like, no, I want a chick. I'm leaving the U.S. I want something like fast. So I think some people are like that.
Yeah,
definitely.
Yeah,
definitely. You know, it's I mean, here's one thing I was fortunate in. I was fortunate that my wife spoke English. I don't know how it would have been if she didn't speak English, because I didn't speak Spanish. My Spanish is better now, you know, but, you know, anytime you think that a whole country, and we speaking strictly in the context of outside the matrix, okay, here we are. If you think a whole country is a certain way, you know, you got to readjust your thinking, you know what I mean? Because there's no way. A brother posted on my channel recently, he said, well, you know, you found yours, but it's only been chicks trying to sell me P, you know, since I've been here. And I was like, that's interesting, because that means you're in a place where they only sell P. Exactly. You know what I'm saying? Try pulling out on Avenida 27 at 7:30 in the morning. You'll see all the real chicks. You'll see all the regular chicks. You know why? Because they're on their way to work down 27.
That's all I've been saying.
Yeah, catching that bus.
The uniform is a dead giveaway.
Yeah,
they got jobs. Yeah. Was she? I mean, you know, you commented that on a Wednesday night. You know, so on Wednesday night, guess where all the regular women were? In the bed, getting ready to go to work in the morning.
Absolutely.
In the bed early.
Yeah. Yeah.
In the house, yep.
Shout out to Kings of Dream for the $2 super chat, man. Great convo, fellas. Great convo.
I would like to make a comment though. My wife doesn't speak English.
Okay.
So I had to learn Spanish. And so here's my thought with that. It's a lot easier for me to learn Spanish than it is for her to learn English, because my wife has been speaking Spanish her entire life, but in the United States, we're more bilingual than other places in the world. We have access to different things, other languages, because the English language is really a bastardized language of other languages. So it's a lot easier for us to learn a foreign language than it is sometimes for people who are from Colombia or other Latin American countries to learn English. And as a man, I'd rather take that responsibility than to put that on her. And that's just, my value system and my belief system as a leader, as what we say, the high priest of the house. It's my responsibility to be a leader, to learn the language, but then also to show, the compassion and leadership that's required to maintain the household. And so that's just, our belief system, and that's just how I do it. That's not, knock on anybody else who doesn't, but I just think that sometimes it's more attractive for foreign women if they see that the man is taking the time to learn their language.
No, that's what's up, man. Go ahead, Soul Trouble.
I was going to say, that's a funny thing is that for those of you that are trying to learn the language, when you became proficient with the language when you're able to argue with your girl. That's when you're proficient with it. Right there.
That's true.
Yeah.
That is so true. It's kind of funny that you say that. Me and Ace were out. He came to see me in Cali last year, and we were out just eating, and this brother came up to us and he was just looking raggedy. He just wanted a few dollars, but it was in such a disrespectful way how he approached us. Ace just stood up and politely was talking to the brother. All of a sudden a full-blown argument broke out, and I was like, dang, that brother Spanish good. Arguing, because I was like, once you know you can argue in Spanish, that's when I say, that's all I thought. I wouldn't think about the brother. I wouldn't think about Ace. All I'm thinking about, I'm in a moment of jealousy while we eating. I'm like, dang, that brother Spanish good. Yeah. I would like to argue in Spanish. but and not saying Andre and I have disagreements, but I'm saying you're right, ORD. You start to find yourself becoming more proficient and confident in being able to express yourself a little bit more, being the leaders. Because one thing I notice about Latin women, your leadership is expected. It's not appreciated in the sense like, I appreciate you finally being a man that you're supposed to be. In these cultures, you are expected to walk in the fullness of your manhood. And a part of that is, if you need to learn another language to lead the family in the direction that the family needs to go, so be it. Be the man and learn that new language. And so those are some of the things that I picked up. I got a question for you guys, because I noticed this about the guys that are in serious relationships or married among the passport brothers. Do you guys notice that we really aren't the ones that are putting down the women in the States? We're not the ones that saying that they're not marriage material. We're not the ones that saying that all black women are this or all black women are that. Us that are serious in relationships, we're not assuming that there are no good women in the United States. But the you see what I'm saying? The narrative has been put out there that everybody that's under the moniker of passport bro or black man with a passport, we're leaving and marrying, even us that are getting the relationships, are because the women in the States, and that's not most of our narratives.
No. You mind if I go first? You know what I think it is? That it's because of the whole fact of KS, ever since the passing of KS. And I'm thinking that a lot of these dudes from the red pill actually had jumped on this whole bandwagon of the travel bros and things like that. And I believe that they have hijacked a lot of, what we're doing, and they used it for their benefit to put that as a carrot in their face of saying, look, this is what we about to do now. So, you guys can't do this. You guys ain't that, whatever. And that I'm about to go over here and go find something better. So for us, you know, a lot of us, we actually just dipped out. We was like, yo, we dipped out, and all we doing is just trying to help other brothers, to see, realize the benefit of leaving the USA and seeing something better. But the last thing in our platforms, we don't even bring up the women in the other states. We don't bring up ABS or whatever. We don't really care too much about that. But we're gonna talk about what goes on in these countries and the women that that we come in contact with, and you can make the educated the difference in the similarities yourself, and if a lot of these women, they do jump on and they see that, well, hey, I mean, if you feel bad for that, it's up to you, but that's not on us. We're just giving the people what we experience, what we see when we go out here, and or even just our experience with our wives and so forth. So that's my take on it.
True.
Shout out to Travelversity, man. I see you in the chat, bro. What's good? One thing I noticed real quick is travelers don't talk about what's going on in the United States. We're too busy planning trips, trying to share our experiences. The ones that's not traveling is talk. That's all they got to talk about because they can't talk about travel. But go ahead, brother Todd.
Yeah, I appreciate this question because I'm trying to think about some of the things that the red pill is lacking, right? I always say that everything that we do is in commerce. And so commerce is, everything is a social contract. And so, when we're married, when we have a significant other, it's really a social contract. And so when we get married, it's elevating that social contract to a different type of contract. So it's buying and selling, persuading, all of these different things. I believe that the reason why we don't talk about these things is because we're not in the market for those women. We're good. We already have our social contract. There's no need for anything else, right? And so there's no reason to put someone else down. There's no reason to put another group of women down because we're just not in that market. So
now I do got smoke. If somebody want to come in and say something, I got smoke for them. But I don't initiate. I retaliate.
Right.
Exactly.
They will catch this smoke, man. Let's see. So I'm gonna start with you, brother Andre. I got something I was thinking about. He said yes. Brother Marquis said Colombia got a lot of receipts for marriages. Man. DR do too.
Yeah, I'm about to say, I got to speak up for DR because ever since I started the channel, you got to realize everybody is not public, so there are brothers who have been reaching out to me with their wives since we started the channel, and to be honest, I mean, we're private people, but we felt like we had something to offer to the community, so we decided to jump out here. But there's so many couples that they're together, they've been happily married, they're doing their thing, but how would you know looking at YouTube? There's only content creators on YouTube. We create content, we come out here and we represent what we're doing. But this DR thing, man, and for me, I didn't realize that this myth had gotten so bad because I'm 10 years in, and like I said, there wasn't that idea, or this myth, DR women are this, and the culture is shifted and all that, because I don't see it. We're in the gated community. It's nothing but families, husbands and wives, or couples where we live. The kids come in here and I'm trying to record something and mess it up in the hallway. We got to start over again. They're out there playing because it's a gated community. Kids might play outside till 9, 10 o'clock, I won't say 10 o'clock, but they play outside late because I know the parents like, go outside. Don't come back in and do our thing. Yeah, they out there and they do their thing, but this is all families. Now, it's all Dominicans, but I'm where the Dominicans are, so if the Dominican brothers are finding wives, what's your problem? I like I said, it's kind of a, this is a new thing to me, hearing how much, DR is being disparaged out there, but I understand why, because the trend is Colombia now. And I understand Colombia is good, but
Yes.
Back when I started, they weren't talking about Colombia. They were talking about DR. So
That's true.
it's more of a trend thing, that's going on. Because come on, man, how many brothers that's looking for wives? Let's just let's just stop it.
Stop the cap.
Cut the crap. Yeah, stop the cap. Cut the crap. You know what I'm saying?
I did polls on this. I did polls on this, and it was about 20% at the most was looking for wives.
They be capping.
But then this the irony of it, gentlemen. But then they want to use us or what we do as the scapegoat when the women in the state criticize them. When the women in the states criticize their actions on the mongering side or the party side or the wild side or getting caught up in Colombia and going back home with all your stuff missing, they want to use the narrative. Well, I was there looking for a woman because you ladies in the United States, blah, 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 blah. Knowing that the truth is you dudes ain't us. We are an actual subculture of the passport bros. Yeah. But you guys try to pronounce it as if what we are actually do and have done is mainstream, and it's not. And have you guys noticed that? Have you noticed that they use our story, our narrative, when the ladies say, y'all only going over on TikTok and the ladies attack, but then they want to say, no, we're looking for love.
We the commercial.
Yeah.
Exactly.
We're
the commercial with all the time.
We're the face. We're the face of the passport bros.
That's it.
But I gotta give a shout out to you, Andre, because you know what? You're the one who told me to take my channel to start, talking about my relationship and so forth. And from that point on, like I get tons of emails or messages from Instagram from people asking about how to get married in Colombia. And it's like I get a lot of those. So, it's like it's becoming to be a really big trend of brothers getting married. I didn't even know too much about I knew about it, but not to this extent ever since I started opening up my channel to that. So I gotta give my shout out to you for that one, and I see it now.
Appreciate the super chat from brother Jay Mitch, man. He said, "Great topic, fellas. Salute, Jay Mitch."
Here's one thing that I think a lot of people miss as well. In doing the research about the different countries and about the different women from different countries. For example, Colombia has an 8% divorce rate. Divorce rate is really low. So that means that when you're dealing with a woman from this country, they're serious. They're not playing. Now, there is that element, I'm sure. Where it is, I don't know, because that was never something that I was, involved with. But when you talk about a low divorce rate, as opposed to in the States where it's 50%, so I mean, you can judge you have your own judgments from that. But
some people will argue real quick. Some people will argue, because I've used that statistic too, but some people will argue and say Colombia has a low divorce rate because they have a low marriage rate, which is partially true as well. A lot of them don't marry Colombians, so
or they don't get divorced.
But
they'll stay married. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
But no, true. But the other part is that when they use that narrative where the marriage is low, because Colombia is a common law country, to whereas the United States has a few common law states. Colombia is these couples have been together for 3 kids deep. They've been together for like 8-9 years. All the rights she gets anyway. All the rights he gets anyway, because after 2 years of verification that you can legally prove with receipts that you guys have been under the same roof, y'all take care of these, especially take care of kids together. Right. You really don't need the paper by law, because the law is already established on a nationwide basis. So when people sit back and say, well, Colombians are married on a higher rate because it's a common law country, they don't need the paper as much as it's needed because we have 50 states and it's all divided under different policies and rules.
Different kind of contract.
Exactly.
And even then, it still looks good at the fact that if we're married at a lower rate. I mean, if you think about it, that's even better.
Yeah,
it is better.
It's even better.
Honey, you paused out solo travel.
Married.
Okay, you back.
I mean, how many women does each brother need to find a wife? You know what I'm saying? Like, you need a whole country worth. We need to have the whole statistics of what the country is like to find one wife. I mean, we ain't talking about finding a plethora of wives. We talk about one. You know, so
Well, yeah, and a Latin woman here in Colombia, one is enough.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
Don't want no
Yeah.
problems.
Yeah.
Yeah. You
Yeah.
right about that.
Because they could go from
Oh,
0
man.
to the moon instantly, man. So
I've
you don't
never
want
seen
that
a brother
problem.
who was looking for a wife read the statistics first, you know, before he goes looking. You know what I'm saying? I mean, the information is good. Don't
Well,
get me wrong, but you know,
I
what
ain't
I'm
gonna
saying?
lie. I actually did that.
Did you?
I ain't
Wow.
gonna lie. I was like, no. I actually looked. I was like, wait a minute. Let me. Should I get married in this country?
No, I
Let
did
me look
that
at
too.
the divorce rate here.
See, I didn't, because I didn't know to. But
Me
you guys
neither.
you guys kind of came to mind for you guys. But you know, sometimes it's ignorance is bliss in certain situations, and because everything was. There was no really push on social media regarding getting into talking about marriages, talking about relationships. While everybody was on the other, like I always say, there's two bridges and two sides to a bridge and two sides to a coin. While everybody was on that side of the bridge, partying, having fun, we over here so quietly in stable relationships, 7 years, 3 years, 4 years, going back and forth, establishing relationships with the family and not just them. I remember when I really got solidified in Andrew's family because I came on Christmas. Andrew's dad was like, is he just another American, monger that we hearing about on that side of the bridge? But when I came down for Christmas, he was like, oh, okay, he cool. Because he ain't got no family up in the States that he got a wife to go be with or kids to take care of because it's the holiday. So that solidified me with the family. Yep. But dudes try to make the mistake, and let me know if you guys noticed this, that because we were on this side of social media and nobody was really talking about relationships, serious relationships from the Passport brothers, and everybody was talking about the mongering and the party and so forth, it gave us a chance to really do it our way. You see what I'm saying? Without distractions, without the women on TikTok saying, because think about it, guys, we were getting married before TikTok even came out.
Yeah.
Before there were YouTubers really putting themselves out there in DR and putting themselves out there in Thailand, putting themselves out there in Colombia, we were already going on our 3rd, 4th, 5th year in our relationships. So even if they came out, they couldn't distract us as easily. You see what I'm going with that? Is that how some of you guys feel about it too?
We weren't influenced by influencers.
Yeah.
You know? I mean, it's as simple as that, because there's so much noise now. And the thing is, the noise is the distraction. How can noise lead you to finding the love of your life? How can noise make you determine the love of your life? And the funny thing is, even though, like I said, commercially we're the face, like Solo said, but in reality, if you start trying to talk about what we're talking about, so we the simps, and it's like, oh, brother, don't come here and talk about that love. It's just not yours, it's your turn. You know what I'm saying? All that talk.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like, brother, y'all don't even realize y'all been traumatized. Y'all need to seek therapy.
To be honest, I don't be, the ones that's known, I don't see us being called simps, because a lot of guys that know us, they know we went through a process to even get to that point. You know what I mean?
But this new wave of social media influencers and TikTokers and so forth, they do kind of look at us like y'all go sit at the little table. They think that they're the grown folks with the knife to cut the turkey, not realizing, no, we were the one that were the trailblazers. We got the big knife and we cutting the turkey drumstick and so forth. And not because they don't realize it, and because they're in more of masses. Let's put it like this: the Passport bros majority have more in common than the women that complain about them, because anybody that's in a solidified relationship, they whine about us just like the women in the States whine about them. So no matter what we do, we got to hear it not only from the women in the States, we got to hear from fellow Passport bros and then the beta males. So we
Yeah.
get it from
Yeah.
every angle, and it has not impacted
Yeah.
us and affected us or infected us at all.
You know, I
Oh,
think.
I agree. Oh, I'm sorry.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
I'll make a quick thing, because one thing is like, just like what he was saying of Love Purpose, and he was saying how a lot of that noise, especially in a lot of these WhatsApp groups, like you will see a lot of brothers that are like hurt, and they don't even want to admit that they're hurt or jaded, and they will talk crazy, like exactly what he was saying about how hey, you're simps if you want to go ahead and get married and things like that. I'll never get married. Something wrong with you. And it was like, yo, it's like we're not a monolith. We don't have to. We all don't have to be like that. We all don't have to do that whole thing. So, like just like Andrew was saying, hey, we are the trailblazers for this whole situation of getting married and seeing what it's like with a different, environment of relationship than what people are used to in the United States and so forth. And at times I'm thinking like, these dudes that be talking all that craziness. I'm like, so what is the purpose of you even doing this? Why are you wasting your time even going out here traveling, creating relationships? To go back home and to do what you're doing in the States. Like, I mean, it's kind of like this. Look at this. After from going to Ruth Chris, are you really gonna go back to McDonald's? Like,
No.
come on, that don't make any sense. So, so why are you even talking like that? That you ain't gonna do nothing? And of course, a lot of brothers, they talk that stuff, and the brothers that actually will take you on the side and will actually, ask you questions about, what you do with women and so forth. So it's always about a sometimes, a demeasuring contents in these groups, but then, outside of these groups is a whole different story. So, I've done seen it all. It's
Exactly.
crazy.
Outside of the groups.
Yeah, it's important to know that, what we've done is we go where we're appreciated. But that requires us to make a choice and make a decision to go where we feel appreciated. That requires grit and it requires courage. A lot of passport brothers talk about traveling and talk about all these different things, and they try to make it, it's a glamorous life, and people envy that. But the real mark of a man is what are his convictions, right? And it takes conviction to marry someone from another culture, to be learned in their culture, to be learned in their language, and to be appreciated in their culture, and you appreciate their culture as well. That requires a lot of courage. And I don't know how many people that are in this space that can actually do it.
No.
I gotta get this. I gotta get through my list, man. But being married is a big boy. Well, it's a big boy thing.